Hello everyone and welcome to a special episode on Usually Fixing and Tinkering. This is a Fiesta MK3 special. I am at the Great British Car Journey in Ruby and we have quite a few MK3 Fiestas that have turned up from the MK3 Fiesta Standard group, a group that has just been set up by myself just to gather some really cherished MK3 examples, the surviving MK3s that are left with us, and Mark 3.5s as well. And we have a few cars here today and all of them are F-Regs, which is utterly incredible. So let's see what there is. Ruby's made it here again today. Absolutely no problems whatsoever with this car. So touch wood, it stays that way for the return journey. But anyway, we have a number of cars that have turned up at the Great British Car Journey. It is a Ford day today and we have been really nicely placed at the front. I booked an allocated space for several MK3s and we've had a good number show. We've got 5 turn up today and all of them are F-Regs. Every single one of them are early 1989 MK3 Fiestas. You will not see this probably again for a long time. The idea of this group is to try and get stuff like this happening a bit more often and get MK3s into one single place, and all of them are looking absolutely amazing. Now this, I will begin with this actually. So over here we've got F340DKG. Now this is, I believe, the only registered and surviving F-registered 1.6 S's. Now as some of you will see, we've got a different engine. We've got a Zetec engine under the bonnet. That's the only change that's been made in this department. We have got some OEM plus genuine parts that have been fitted. The wheels, the lights. By the way, the spotlights, that is obviously a 1.6S feature from the get-go. They would have come with steelies and trims to start off with, and there would have been some very different seats. It's had some Recaro seats fitted, a Recaro steering wheel. It's had quite a few of the genuine RS steering wheel, I should say, and a few other features fitted. In fact, it's even got, wow, blimey neck. That's really good to see. It's had quite a few things added on. The smoke rear lights, I think, is also sometimes called the Euro lights. It's denoting its origins a little bit. It's not quite its original form, but nevertheless, it is a cherished car, and the owner has brought it here to line up alongside our cars. This is a nice car, and the interesting condition of this, it's absolutely rock solid. I did have a poke under this earlier and it's absolutely rock solid. You've got clear side indicators, clear indicators just on the later cars. So it's had only a few things changed. It's had a new radiator recently as well. It's got a nice battery cover there. I've not seen this type of battery cover before, but it's got the original master cylinder. That might be on borrowed time because a lot of them are these days. You've got the fuel filter obviously mounted where it should normally be if it was an injected model, and with a Zetec obviously it'd be multiple fuel injection, with a coil pack mounted on the side. In fact, this is straight out of my Focus, but obviously this is the earlier silver top engine. Sometimes it was known early on as the Zeta before it was copyrighted and Ford had to change the name quite quickly. Yeah, anyway, that is probably, I think there is only other 1.6S that survives from 1989 in general, and that is F and G reg. Remember, the F registrations would have gone from the launch, which was April the 13th, and then finished around July, I believe, and then August it would have changed to a G registration. Now this car, owned by the lovely Sean Hudson over here, this has been some project car on Morsels and Motors. If any of you don't know that YouTube channel, where have you been? Morsels and Motors, go and look at some videos. This was a a scrappage salvage job almost. This car was not far away from that. I think it would have ended up there very imminently, judging on the condition. It needed welding, it needed tidying up, it needed the interior looking at. So we've got a few cars coming in and out, just excuse me about that, as long as you pick up the sound. It is a popular, so the history of this car, F59 JGC. Okay, the origins of this car, 18th of April was when this was registered, 5 days after the launch. It was manufactured quite early on in March, I believe. So this is a pre-launch build, and it is in radiant red. Obviously the popular did not have a sunroof, no 5 doors here. It didn't have any wheel trims whatsoever. You obviously had these hubcaps that would have shared with earlier Fords, and these lovely nut cappings as well. It's in a lovely state of patina and age-related bodywork. It's honestly, Sean's done a really good job making this look really, really decent as a car, because this was, I've seen the picture, the early pictures, it was not in great condition. Being a popular also, you wouldn't have had a wash wipe, but this got it. It's been added on later, but you wouldn't have had a rear wiper at all. You would not have had a door mirror. When Sean bought it, there was a door mirror here. He did a video on it where he had to find a blank for the outside, and he's locked it on me. Obviously, Sean's car does not have central locking, and I am used to that. Now, the interior panel is a blank also, but the one that was fitted to the car, actually somebody had cut it away for the stalk to basically fit the mirror on the outside. Getting that cost quite a princely sum from Germany, but he bought it because, well, when are you going to get another? And you're probably not, to be honest. The door cards are full soft touch vinyl, which goes down the full length of the door. We've got a speaker down here with the radio down here. We have got no glove compartment, no radio. Yeah, we've got no center console, just obviously the heater vent down there, and there's a massive amount of space. 4-speed BC box, no 5-speed. Yep, just 4 here. Everything else is actually pretty much what you would have got on at least a Popular Plus and an L. I'll actually bring you around here and I'll sit in the driver's seat. It has that really good opening. In fact, this door apparently looks like it's been, at some point, it's a pattern part, because it doesn't fit right. There's a bit of chafing going on, but for a start, this does not look like, I think we reckon it's had the door skin replaced, because this cannot be from the factory, whether it was done under warranty. But why not just replace the entire door? That would have been much quicker and cost effective. It's a good place to put a fire extinguisher. I might actually consider that myself. If I just bring you in here. Oh, okay, if I just shut this door. So, yeah, Sean loves his cassettes, and you got to have that stuff because it was just off the time, and you have a cassette player down there. Now, this is not coded either, as far as I'm aware. It certainly isn't. You've got the little ashtray here. Now, this doesn't even come with a cigarette lighter. That's just a blank. That's ridiculous. It doesn't even come with that. I thought it did. You do have a heated back screen. That was standard. So what this car is equipped with, you would have got on any Mark III, being the poverty spec. We do have a rear fog as a rear fog as well. Obviously, you got manual heating controls. Absolutely no clock. Maybe good for putting some coins in, but they just shoved that there because I doubt they had any more use for it. We also have the speedo. We have no rev counter. We've just got our warning symbols that are dotted on mine. replacing the rev counter. I've got to be honest, I think that Speedo is very opportune. Put it this way, optimistic is the word. We have a car with lots of fuel in it. Might siphon a bit of fuel out. I could do some fuel. And a normal temperature gauge. Then we've just got these lines going across where there was basically more stuff on mine, basically. We do not have a wash wipe dip function, so I can just dip the stalk down and the wipers will do a sweep. There is no function to do that. So Sean's got the technique where he lifts the stalk just a little bit, but not quite, so it clicks. So basically he's using a new technique there. But usual controls on this side. I love the aged steering wheel badge. That's really nice, that is. Unfortunately Ruby's was in worse condition than that. Obviously no electric windows here, guys. This is a more normal, typical Mark III. Ruby's not typical. That is a very, very smooth window winder. That's actually really smooth. There's no jerking and stiffness. That is actually delightful to use. And sometimes, well, less to go wrong. The door pull obviously being in the usual place, but there's just absolutely no features at all apart from this armrest, which is weird because the seat is here, and my natural instinct really is to have my hand should be there to pull the door, but you have to sort of pull your hand back this way. It's just too far this way. That's my gut feeling on that one. But they didn't want it clashing with the seat. The material, oh goodness me, this is a lovely seat material, and I'll put that in the description because I've completely forgot the name of it. It's a cotton braid material, so we got white, red and blue going on here in a stitch pattern. These can wear out pretty badly, and obviously, yes, we know Sean is going to get these off and do what I've done on Ruby and spray tons of glue to sort this out. But honestly, well, I love his seats, and actually these are more comfortable than Ruby, I think, because this material is thinner than the Astral sort of material that you would have got on your gears, etc. These are not genuine mats, I will say that. Sean might like a set, but only if it's at the right price, effectively. But these actually look quite nice, actually, as little copies. Certainly I wouldn't bat an eyelid against them. We also have a mirror with no dim dip. There's no partial shelf whatsoever, so someone can see what they want to steal out of your car. Both back windows have been changed because they don't have the etching that matches the car chassis number. So yeah, and there was a lot of glass in the car apparently when Sean bought the car. And some period accessories. Who remembers them? Denim jeans. Oh, honestly. Now under the bonnet, we don't have many horses. Because this is the Popular, we have a 1 litre, the smallest capacity Valencia engine you could ever have. And it was only fitted on the Popular. On the Popular Plus, you gained a 1.1 with 5 speeds. This 4-speed, oh dear. Yes, we've only got 4 gears and we've only got about 46 horses to play with. Apart from that, it's all fairly conventional for anybody who's got a 1.1, 1.3. The engine is the same exterior size, it's just the bores, obviously it was bored out later on, and 1.3 was the maximum size for this engine, which dates back to the 1950s in one way or the other, pre-Crossflow Kent engines. But you know what? This is a lovely, honest car, and it is a Dagenham build SF. In fact, most of the writings come off Ruby. I think My Chemicals have removed some of the print. Got this lovely sticker at the front here which gives you all the information you need. I love these little stickers here and there. You can get reproduction ones, but the old stickers look just as nice. It is a Dagenham car because we've got seam sealer here and a lovely beader seam sealer here. But apart from that, there is absolutely nothing to this engine bay. It's so simple. It really is. The car is a very simple Weber TLD MPS, possibly. I might have got the name wrong there. It's a single Venturi, very simple carburettor. It's nothing like the one in Ruby, but it does its job, and it does its job well. And this car runs really nicely. It's had a few things changed underneath. It might need another bottom wishbone. We've got the original master cylinder, and you know what I got rid of? This tag. This is the parts tag for the master cylinder, and you know what? I binned it, didn't I? I should have put that one back on the new master cylinder. There. Still got the sticker on the servo. Remarkably, the servo is in really good condition. They can corrode where brake fluid sort of leaks out and then it eats the paintwork a little bit. We have got a fuel filter going on, a tiny one, and that is recommended. And like Ruby has now, this car is now fitted with Co-Line rubber fuel hoses just for safety. They're the best ones. Ethanol resistant. Starter motor in a lovely accessible position. That's a lovely engine, honestly. The exhaust pipe is so very thin, with the radiator at the front, which actually looks like a slightly different construction to the ones fitted to CVHs. The core looks a little bit more sort of thinner, a little bit interesting, but nevertheless, what a wonderful car, a lovely history, and you will see this car again on the channel. Now, really, I should have actually gone to this car last of all, but I wanted to kind of start because it was on the left. Now, we don't have a Popular Plus. We have got all the specifications apart from a Popular Plus. These are all the launch cars, literally. All the engines, all the gearboxes in one place. And we've got 4 different colours, literally. Diamond White, Radiant Red, Maritime Blue and Stratos Silver. I think that's the best colour to get a launch Mark III on. Personally, a very early one. But anyway, we're going to come to Gary's car. Now, those of you who watched one of my Knockhill episodes with the Focus Preservation Club, this car was there and it won a trophy for the best retro car of that event. And I am absolutely not surprised by that. It stood out like a sore thumb. Not like a sore thumb, but a very good one indeed. F684 TVX. This is a late July registered F-Reg. It almost became a G-Reg, so it was almost kicked out this club. It does sport not the sort of RS style wheels from around that time. Again, it was an accessory, and plenty of people did this. It's the only thing that's been changed about this car. Apart from that, it is completely stock. It is an L in terms of specification. So if we come in here, we're starting to go a little bit more upmarket here. So the seat material is a little bit less coarse. It's still cotton braided, but we've got some yellows, blues and greys. There's a lot more colours going on here, and the seats are actually in really good condition. The upgrade, in terms of the door cards, you get a door bin. Yes, now that might have been a Popular Plus thing, but it might have been an L thing. The L, by the way, this car was the most common bought Mark III, an L. This was your Z-Tech as such, you know, the absolute most popular version of this car in terms of Z-Tech Focus Mark 1s, I should say. The door card has now been divided, and you have this fabric upper piece. That may have been a Popular Plus aspect. You also get, obviously you get a door mirror. You got a door mirror on the Popular Plus. You also got a clock, a glove compartment, and if you've noticed, the dashboard is blue, the interior is blue, colour coordinated to the paintwork on the outside. We also have a 5-speed BC box, the 5th gear being an extension of the gearbox on the left hand side. We do have a pull down, I believe, for a single sweep. Actually, no, we still don't get that on this. No, it's still a pull down. And then we have a few more instances on the, oh no, actually the dashboard binnacle is exactly the same. Sorry, I'll correct myself there. We don't have a rev counter still, but everything remains the same. We don't have a console. By the way, these carpets, I believe, if I just go, I'm just going to go backwards a second. Yeah, the carpets in these are very cheap and rough. They're sort of recycled polyester carpets. Now the L, I believe, yeah, it's exactly the same, but it's in blue. It's everything is blue in here, and you know, a lot of cars did this where they had blue dashboards, and I think that was so neat and tidy and of its time. What a wonderful idea. It's just a shame that they stopped it. You have got a dim dip on that mirror. You've got a mirror for that sun visor as well. But again, we got a partial shelf at the back as well. This is obviously a 3-door as well. All the cars so far have been 3 doors. We've got registration etched in the windows. Again, you'd have that for the headlights. We've all got that going on. And we have a triplex windows. This has also got triplex. And now, this is quite interesting. So I'm just going to come over here and I'm just going to confirm one thing. Triplex. Right. So, all these cars are Dagenham built. And they've got triplex windows. These 2 cars do not. They have lunar security windows. I'll come on to that in a second. I wonder why. If we come around here, by the way, under the bonnet, it's exactly the same as what's under the bonnet here. Carburetted. All the launch cars were carburetted. There was no injection. The XR2i was not quite ready for the launch. The launch cars went all the way from your Popular to your S. There was no XR2i from launch. That was in the pipeline, but they weren't quite ready as a product. Now you still do not have central locking. It is manual locks. Maritime blue, by the way, looks so nice. This is in wonderful condition. It really is. It has some patina. This has made its way all the way from Scotland to get here, by the way. Usable, enjoyable. And it was registered at Cleals Limited. Got some lovely paraphernalia on the back of this. Proper jealous. And we have obviously the 1.1L sticker. You could only get a 1.1 on the L, okay? Same for the Popular Plus. Whereas the Popular, you're stuck with the 1 litre. Got some nice sort of patinaed badges. We've all got patinaed badges. Downturn exhaust. I think Ruby's the only one that's got the correct back box. They're impossible to find, so we'll just take a look at the rear suspension. The torsion beam was a massive improvement over the Mark II. There's a bit of semi-independentness going on here. Absolutely gorgeous. Even, yes, nobody got the joysticks there. You get a blank. That's for later cars. That's for higher spec cars. This does have a rather lovely story actually, but basically it's passed through some really loving owners over the years, and it's made its way into Gary's hands, and he took it on, and wow, he's had it the last 3 years, and he absolutely loves this car. He loves driving it, getting it out. Probably the most active of the Mark III community. There aren't many members that will go anywhere and any show. He'll be the first to put his hands up. This car will make it kicking and screaming. And he does a lot of things for charity as well. Car runs in this. I think that has to be mentioned here. It's not just the car, it's the owner. So seriously, it's really, really nice to see. Now, I'm just going to skip Ruby for a second. I'm going to go to this car. So this was registered on the 21st of April, 3 days after Sean's. So what we have here is, we believe, to my records, as far as I'm aware, this is the second oldest. There was one older, but it's been off the road for 20 years, no tax, no SORN, and no MOT, but it's still on the database of the DVOA, so most likely Sean's is the only one that will be viable as number one, basically. This car is number 3, 100%. 3 days later, F335 SJB, registered at Horncastle Garage Limited in Reading. Wow, that's come and had a bit of a life. It's moved around a little bit. Now, this car is used by Richard 5-6 days a week. It's a daily. This is more of a daily car than my Focus Estate. Now, you're going to look at this car and think, you can obviously see the usual things that depict this as a bit of a daily. Richard's going to kill me for highlighting all the areas that people will be familiar with these. Now, remember, it is remarkable that they exist in their forms today. This is a very, very usable car. He wouldn't be driving it this much if it wasn't, and I think it's a testament to the platform that in 2025 there is actually a Mark III that is being used and really, really enjoyed, and it runs nicely. And as we can see under the bonnet, we have a 1.4 CVH. Of course, this is the LX, so it's one up from the L. This is also quite a popular model for those who wanted a few extra toys. The 1.4 was an option. So on the LX, you could get a 1.1, or you could have a 1.4. Almost. Listen to that. Or just about. That was a relative cold start. It hasn't been started in hours. Listen to that. That is absolutely cracking. And that's really, really quiet. That's amazing. It runs, honestly, on the button. Now, obviously, this is driven in the winter. I will tell you that. It is coming off the road potentially for a bit of bodywork. Richard knows that, and it will get done because he loves this car and he knows exactly what's needed. It's one of these sort of forever cars. I shouldn't say that lightly, but you get a good one and one that works well, and it just endears itself. And you know what, driving one of these every day, yeah, I think that would make me really happy as well. Unfortunately, I just can't with Ruby because of the condition. Otherwise, you know, these are typical areas that you would usually get. The LX, you get some trims on the side. You would have had them on the L, but they also added them to the LX. I think a bit more, a little bit bigger. But apart from that, exterior wise, it is a 5-door as well. If I just come in here. Now, the trim is exactly the same as an L. So nothing has changed on these door cards. But we got a blank. Oh yes, we have got electric window switches in a console. Now, the LX had this lovely console placed around the gear lever, and we have an electronic boot release and electric windows. They were options. This was an option on the LX, and the owner took it up. This was standard on the gear. By the way, this console was an option on the Popular Plus, the L as well. You could have a Popular Plus with this console, believe it or not, but no one took it up. But the owner certainly took up the electric windows, hence the blank over there as well. The door handles, again, we do not have the curvaceous door handles of a gear. That was only a gear thing at this stage, and an S. This, you know what, it's done pretty well actually. They get scratched up easy, but it feels like a good chunk of a door handle. It's the same trim that you would have got on an L, no difference there, but the carpets are exactly the same as what you get on a gear. It's nice and fluffy. It's a much more softer material. I think it's still recycled polyester. It's not pile. It's not pile in Ruby, but it's much nicer to look at. Glove compartment, nice clock. Remember, black background, white digits. That's the correct clock. A lot of people ask me why I changed the clock. It wasn't the correct one that was in it. Still got blanking switches, no heated screen, and obviously the front fogs was only a thing in the XR2i and the RS Turbo, obviously. We do get a cigarette lighter. Lovely, barely used. Ashtray. Radio has gone walkies for a second, but we have a joystick. Oh yes, we have the optional joystick. Now that would have been potentially an option on this specification. I need to confirm that. I think there's been some repairs to the choke cable. It is a used car, so there's going to be more stuff that might need to be looked at, but overall very original. And again, where's the faded badge? But we do have a rev counter. That's really important. This has done 65,000 miles. When Richard bought it, it had done 44 quite a few years ago, so it has put some miles on, but it can do it. It can do it. Just yes, this is kind of, in fact, I'll just show you this. You've got the etching, Lunar Security. Now these windows, Lunar Security windows, was a Mark II Fiesta window, but they carried it over for the Spanish built cars, because this, like Ruby, is a Spanish built car. Now all I can say is that the only connection between these two is the fact that they've got a CVH engine. So I'm trying to puzzle why certain cars were Dagenham built and why some were Spanish. Was it random, or was there a connection? Or was it because they're all 3 doors? These are 5 doors. I wonder if the 5 doors were made in Spain. Somebody can answer me that question, because that's come up again. Yes, we might, Master Cylinder might be just starting to eat at that servo, but it's repairable. It's all be cleaned up. Honestly, I could do this in 5 seconds. Richard will get me cleaning his car in a bit. Obviously, got a coil down there. You see, the jack's looking quite its original sticker on. I don't have that on Ruby. It's actually got all the. It is very original. Tired, but original, and it's all serviceable. They're very simple things to work on, and most of the parts, including like things like your expansion tanks, oh, they're so well built, they last forever. We come down here. Sunroof has been replaced because the sunroof hinge is rotted out and it leaked into the car and caused a bit of an issue with the headlining. The headlinings were a bit cheaper earlier on. Yep, this is the same headlining I've got in Ruby, same sort of material. I might have to go back to one of the other cars to show you actually, but overall no real differences here. Lovely. They all smell very similar as well. We'll also say, apart from the gear, you get the exposed metal at the top of this B pillar and the C pillars, whereas on the gear it's covered up by plastic. Completely exposed. You can polish that. One strut, we all got that. Richard's got some paraphernalia as well in terms of literature, but oh, really good, honestly. Obviously it's the elephant in the room, really. Ruby's going to have similar work done. They all need it, but it's obviously not wearing the correct trims. I know people are going to say that. Oh, it's missing. Oh, that's why it's ripped. It's come off. Now, he's going to laugh when I say this. I am not going to complain about a little crack where my fiberglass has cracked from my repair I did to the boot. I say repair. This is quite typical. It just, water gets trapped underneath the rubber, and I'm pretty sure most people, this is what you'd see back in the day. That's why I actually, for me, I really like this car, because this is exactly what you'd have seen back in the day. It's exactly true to it's how you would normally see a used condition disposable Super Mini from this time. Metros went similarly. Everyone, you know, Fiat, Unos and Pandas, they all went the same way. They all had scabby bits to them. But they're mostly very, very honest. You get the earlier spare tray at the front. Still got its original cap, although that's an aftermarket one. Yeah, it's the elephant in the room. Unfortunately, they all go around here eventually. Luckily, Touchwood Ruby hasn't got that problem. But well, I'm going to start filming now, because this car, beyond the surface of surface rust and patina, and I'm not being funny, these cars are 36 years old. They were never designed to last 10 years. In fact, a few people who commented on Ruby's review video made it very clear that really they were so rubbish. They didn't even last 5 years before they started looking similar to this. I no doubt it with some really poor examples, but they're not. They're very, very good cars, but they need looking after and washing and probably gouging, but washing. I think a lot of the issues with bodywork is to do with not washing and cleaning them, basically. Obviously, some of it was design flaws, but nevertheless, no, I'm just noticing all the differences here. I just want to take a bit of time to look. I just find it fascinating seeing all the little variations, but actually, this is really what I know. And this has got the same carburettor as Ruby, by the way, exactly the same carburettor. The Weber DFTM 2830 with plugs of things that we do not need. That might have been for something like your fogs. And obviously the last one in the range is Ruby. Now you all know Ruby. You had a choice of 1.1, 1.4 as you had in the LX. The CTX automatic transmission was offered on every model apart from Sean's Popular. So Popular Plus L, LX gear would have had the option of that gearbox fitted to a 1.1, it's a 1 litre, 1.1 and a 1.4 CVH. Later it would have been fitted to the uprated 1.3 Valencia engine, which came out around the 92 model year. Just a few differences. One thing I didn't mention in my review, obviously everything was standard. The only optional thing was the heated windscreen, what wasn't taken up. The joystick controller as well. The plastic covering the B pillars and the C pillars. The adjustable sunroof. It's adjustable, by the way, in the LX. It's not adjustable in the L. It's just an open and shut mechanism. It's got a lovely headlining, similar to the same as the LX. The Meridian, I think it's the Astral trim. As far as I'm concerned, I think Meridian trim might have been this. I'm going to have to consult that. But no, honestly, they all smell the same as well. Obviously, having the grey interior. This has got the grey interior. So grey interiors would have been diamond white and Stratos silver. And a few other colours. We've got different colours and almost every specification. Modified or original, tired and honest and main daily driven, cherished, pampered and barely used. A recovery, a salvage recovery, because that would have been scrapped. And this car just constantly loved by several people, and hence why it's here. I think I will leave that there. We will come back to Sean's particular example on another day. Anyway, I am going to leave you be. You take care, guys, and I shall see you in a future episode. Hope you enjoyed this. Take care. Aha, bonus footage for those who haven't switched off. I can't end that there. Typically I say goodbye and then I end up finding something else to talk about. I cannot end the episode without naming a couple of cars, especially one that has never been featured on this channel. We have an extremely rare beige Mark 7. So these are all my friends' cars. Focus Mark 1 group admins, I'll tell you that. We all have Fiestas. This is our second, this is our little niche on the side. A beige Mark 7 Fiesta. How rare is that? With an incredibly rare interior. This is Alex's other car, his other Fiesta. He's got two Mark 7, was Mark 7.5, which you saw at the Motorist. This is the other one. Now, this is his partner's car, as far as I'm aware. This is, wow. Oh, getting interior bits for that. Wonderful. Immaculate, absolutely immaculate. Tightest Mark 7 you ever see, particularly on an 09 plate. MM54 LVW. This is Matthew's lovely finesse. Now, I touched on this at the Motorist, but I want to show you more in detail. So this is the Sigma Duratec 1.25. Run of the mill, completely stock, really clean and cherished. He loves this car. This is from his childhood. This is his nostalgia on a plate, and he wants to retain that and look after it. I was never a big fan of the interior. A bit too, I mean, this looks as if it's come straight from a Austin Maestro, these buttons. They're literally so square. Oh no. They got some things completely wrong with the Mark 6, and that's been kind of noted, but the drive, these handle so nicely. They are literally, you take a Mark 5 and you make it even better. In fact, they probably added the Mark 1 recipe to this car, but with a torsion rear end because it's cheaper. But the dynamics are all there. Too many of these. I'm sorry, I'm going to have a bit of a rant now. And it's well worth noting. When was the last time you saw one of these looking so nice in standard form? It is finesse, by the way. Never. Because they're all modified. They're all modified. ST replicas or proper Mark 6 STs. And my goodness me, that is so boring. Where are the common cars? Where have these gone? That's why those Mark 3 Fiestas have survived. And this will survive also if the owner has anything about him. He's got the right engine, it's the right car, it's had the welding in the right places above the rear beam where they tend to corrode and the axle falls off. And it will survive for many more years, and it will probably be one of very few Mark 6s to exist in this kind of form. Probably it will be the last finesse, and that's no exaggeration. They're overlooked, not very liked, and people really just mess about with them too much. They're going through that period. They're coming out of that period because they're getting a bit too old now for a lot of people. This one is my friend's, Michael, who has the Z-Tech collection. This is also his late freestyle. Mark 5, absolutely stock, garaged, cherished, with that lovely blue striped interior. Low mileage. What can I say? Mark 5s didn't last for very long. They were merely a facelift of a Mark 4. They were a stopgap until the Mark 6 came out. Absolutely gorgeous colour, very rare. I think not a very common colour whatsoever. But this really is to end the video. This is my friend Adam's amazing Mark 4 Fiesta. He has two Focuses. He has a Volvo. He's had a number of cars down the years. I've lost track. And this Mark 4 is the tidiest Mark 4 that I have ever seen. I have never seen a car, a Mark 4 like this, ever. I've seen good ones. I've seen ones that need a little bit of work. I've seen plenty of modified ones and ropey ones. Not this. This is absolutely what you would be buying. I'll tell you, give it another few years, people will be paying a few thousand for one of these. Everybody will know how well they handle and how well they drive. And everybody knows how much they rot. nothing. Absolutely nothing. This is a keeper. You just can't get rid of a car like this. It's the tidiest one I've ever seen. Absolutely immaculate. It's as immaculate as Ruby is. And it might be 10 years younger. Give it another 10 years in this same kind of ownership, it will still be there. Mark IVs are not very well they're not very well looked upon in terms of their appearance, the sad face, then the fish face. Well, it doesn't matter what it looks like at the front, it's how they drive, and that's what they did very, very well indeed. Far better than any Mark III RS Turbo or any Mark III that have gone before. It doesn't matter what it is, RS 1800, these drive better. And if you've got one of them in good condition, I'd hold on to it, because people are going to wake up in about 2 or 3 years time and see the fact, well, actually, when was the last time I saw a good one? You don't. That's why. And I think people will definitely want one in the future. Take care.